This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. So today's numbers are brought to you by Unstoppable Domains. Guys, you have some incredible unstoppable domains, and I told you I was going to help some of you guys out. This one goes out to Rick DeLuca this morning. So he holds holdmykeys.crypto, cryptokeyscustody.crypto, holdmycrypto.crypto, and coincustody.crypto. Now I'm highlighting some of these just like Rick's domains that he has here, and shout out to Rick. The reason I'm highlighting some of these specific domains is to let you know that I try not to go for trademarked companies and names, like when I got drumsonline.crypto or guitaronline.crypto, because I feel like those are applicable to people and other companies without actually going for a trademark name. Got to be a little creative, but as Rick has done here himself, this, I believe, is a really, really cool thing with the .cryptos, just like the .coms, and check them out. Check the link in the description and go see what you can come up with. It is remarkable. Let's go ahead and do the numbers. Shout out to you, Rick. Bitcoin is $10,635.57. Ethereum is $344.14. XRP is 23 cents. 0.2380 for the price of XRP currently right now. The market cap is 10.7 billion. We are up 5.1% on the 24-hour at 1.4 billion, and the total circulating supply now remains at 45 billion, 97 million plus. Those are your numbers. Now, we're going to get into a lot of news right now, and this really, to me, is about revealing a new system, a new framework. Everything is falling into place all across the planet. It is not okay to assume that this is just coincidence. This is not coincidence. We discovered a long time ago that there is an international coordination going on here from the G20, the FATF, the FSB, and we're going to even get into some central bank cooperation that's happening and all of that. So before we start, just real quick disclaimer, be careful out here for imposters and scammers, ladies and gentlemen, and this is only going to get worse as the space rolls out, as you will see today, and it's happening much quicker than people even believe, and regardless of price. And be careful, because the XRP community has been notified. Thank you to XRP Crypto Wolf and all the influencers that send information this morning. Please be careful. There is a fake Flare Networks Telegram to steal XRP. So spread the word to warn everyone. And while we're at it, yes, people even try to impersonate me. So be very careful about this. I made a public service announcement, and shout out to Joni and Steve Gulbronson, who received this, unfortunately, and Savvy XRP. And thank you all for the heads up on this. Public service announcement. This is not me. Any and all offers by me are through my YouTube channel. The offers I provide from my YouTube channel are always trusted links of products and services that most of us already need or want by default as investors in this space. Thank you very much. All right, let's keep going. Now, let's get into it here, guys. All right, so we remember that Brad Garlinghouse said yesterday over 70% of central banks around the world are looking to deploy central bank digital currencies. This is very exciting. And one thing that's crystal clear is the importance of interoperability. If you're not prioritizing this, you're just rebuilding the same siloed system. I'll add on to that into the digital world. So he makes a great point, and that's exactly what we've been all about. It's about Ripple, and we will determine, interoperability will determine the CBDC winners and losers, and really that's us. And look, I'm going to make this point too. 9 million people, as they talked about, and I may have said this in yesterday's video, or it was a conversation with somebody, 9 million Americans are still waiting for their $1,200 payment check to arrive in the mail. And guess what? I'm one of them. I have not gotten the first stimulus check. You can't make it up. Yeah, you just can't make it up. It goes to show in just one small way, which is not small at all, right, that they need to move to the new system. Central bank digital currencies and governments that once viewed digital assets as a threat now see how companies like Ripple are working closely with traditional financial institutions to develop efficient, innovative global payment solutions that directly benefit businesses and individuals. They could helicopter the money directly into your account instead of this quantitative easing that's been going on for decades that really is a bottleneck, right? It goes to the institutions and it never seems to quite trickle down to the consumer or the just everyday citizen. So there we go there. By the way, it's also not capitalism. Capitalism's profit loss, and when they continually bail out these huge corporations, the money stops at the top, and then the rest of us are usually left to fend for ourselves. And then they throw us a stimulus check, and hopefully we don't get too upset. Moving on. All right, let's continue with the world narrative here because that's what we're going to move into now, right? We're going to see many different countries that are acting quickly to get things in place because there is a new system happening. And I'm telling you, as I sit here in this chair and XRP is 23 cents, it is happening. Russia's finance ministry has prepared new amendments to the country's crypto law. The draft bill would force cryptocurrency holders to declare their wallets to the tax authorities or face fines even up to 3 years in jail. Now, remember when we talked about this? You're talking about, it's decentralized technology. Cryptocurrencies are amazing, and you can't stop it, and we can do it, and it could be anti-bank, anti-government, and all this. Yeah, well, look what Russia just did. Oh, you're going to declare your cryptocurrencies, and you're going to get the taxes right on them, or we're going to throw your ass in jail. See, this is where it comes into the governments are not going to be outdone by anybody's technology. They'll embrace it, they'll regulate it, and if you don't follow the rules, they'll throw you in jail. It's that simple. Moving on, major India exchange proposed a new regulatory framework for India's government to avoid crypto ban. Bayou Coin developed a framework to regulate cryptocurrencies in India that it claims has support of all the Indian cryptocurrency stakeholders. And by the way, the other day there was some FUD out that there was going to be a crypto ban, but it's not happening. They're moving forward. So, okay, now here we come domestically here in the States. This is from Heath Tarbert, the current head chairman of the CFTC, for outstanding leadership in the digital regulatory space. As we continue moving forward into the digital world, this legislation will help advance opportunities for 21st century commodities. Now, looking at this, because this is the Digital Commodity Exchange Act of 2020 legislation creates a single opt-in national regulatory framework for digital commodity trading platforms under the jurisdiction of the Commodities Futures Trade Commission. The Digital Commodity Exchange Act provides a clear path forward to improve regulation of digital commodities, said Representative Conaway, and digital commodity trading platforms are currently required to comply with a complicated labyrinth of 53 state territory regulatory frameworks, hindering the ability for newcomers to enter the market. The DCEA provides a responsible federal oversight of trading platforms and critical consumer protections while also paving the way for innovators to develop new commodity projects. I'm excited by support this bipartisan legislation has received in Congress from those in the industry. I look forward to developing a legal framework, providing clarity for fintech innovators, strong protections for users of digital commodities. So here they're recognizing cryptocurrencies as digital commodities. This is something we're going to talk about further in just a few minutes here. Today, this is Tom Emmer, Representative Tom Emmer. Now listen, this is important because Tom Emmer has been a huge advocate for cryptocurrencies and even XRP. So we're going to, this is obviously tied all in. This is just another post for the same thing. I'm pointing out that the Chamber of Digital Commerce is excited about this as well, as Heath Harbert. And look, we do need a framework to come into play. And obviously in the United States versus the other areas of the world, we have way more regulatory agencies and overlap than most other countries. So it is going to be, I would imagine, a collective or, cooperative effort between all of these regulatory agencies to understand what their role would be as they roll out this. How far is the SEC involved? How far and how deeply is the CFTC involved? Or the OCC, for that matter, who has been rolling out quite a bit of issuance when it comes to cryptocurrencies in the federally chartered banking system. Well, because that's probably where his power, Brian Brooks's power, really is strongest, is inside of that national banking system. There still has to be things that are done, and money service providers. I'm sure there still has to be framework addressed in a national manner, in a federal legislative manner that is going to cover everything, so we're all under the same guise, and in turn we get a level playing field. And that's what's important here, is that we get everybody held to the same heightened prudential, whether you are a cryptocurrency exchange or whether you're just a money service provider or a payment provider or a payment app. It doesn't matter. There needs to be this consistency and continuity with the legal framework that's going to be put in place. Let's keep moving. So the European Union, as we covered yesterday, and I want to highlight this because of the theme, you're seeing Russia, India, the United States, the European Union, which honestly, in the UK even, we see the Financial Conduct Authority moving forward and getting clear regulatory framework and understanding of what cryptocurrencies are there as well. The European Union will launch a blockchain regulatory sandbox by 2022 to become the global standard setter in blockchain sphere. I think 2022 is too late. They might want to scoot up the date on that if they want to be the leader or set the global standard. At any rate, then we had this news yesterday about a new independent foundation wants to accelerate adoption of the XRP Ledger. The XRP Ledger Foundation has received grants from Ripple, content monetization platform Coil, and UK-based cryptocurrency wallet service GateHub. Now, this is exciting to me because what I see here is a true decoupling from Ripple, the blockchain infrastructure company, and XRP the Ledger. Does it mean it'll stop using it? No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is a clear distinction between the company Ripple and the products that they have created and used to build this new superhighway universal ledger for the world to work on. Remember what Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple said, you need interoperability to win the day, right? That's really what this comes down to. And you're talking about all these different CBDCs in the world. You need to make sure that interoperability is there to service all the needs, not just domestically at home, but everywhere. Interoperability will determine the winners for CBDCs and the losers. It's absolutely true. It absolutely is true. Okay, so now let's get back to where we were at here. So we're going to keep watching that foundation. I think this is also a huge signal too that, this is like a huge signal for me at this point till I see otherwise, that Ripple's not far from doing an IPO and going public. I believe that this is all part and parcel to them being able to make a clear delineation between Ripple, the company, and XRP, the digital asset, and the XRP Ledger. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, let's keep going. So new legislation enables the Bank of International Settlements Innovation Hub Center in Sweden. Now, I wanted to remind everybody here that if you don't know, you're not aware, the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, is like the central bank of central banks. And I wanted to remind everybody we covered back in June here is that in addition, the BIS also intends to establish hub centers in Toronto, Bank of Canada, Paris, Frankfurt, ECB, and London, Bank of England. Furthermore, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York will enter into a strategic partnership with the BIS Innovation Hub, which has already taken place. So the reality is look at the level that they are connected, and this is all about digital innovation. That's what this is about. Okay, so this isn't about anything else other than getting fintech and innovation, digital innovation, worked into the central banking system. That's what this entire project's about there. So let's keep an eye on that. Now, while all of this framework and regulatory legislation's being introduced and they're drilling down on it from Russia to India to UK to Europe to US, I mean, it is a global effort at this point. Ripple is hiring a senior product manager. The world sends over $155 trillion across borders. However, the underlying infrastructure is dated and flawed. Ripple solves this problem. We connect banks, payment providers, corporations, digital asset exchanges via RippleNet to provide one frictionless experience to send money globally. Ripple's distributed financial technology outperforms today's banking infrastructure by driving down costs, increasing processing speeds, and delivering end-to-end visibility into payment fees, timing, and delivery. Now, it says here also Ripple is growing rapidly and we're looking for a results-oriented person, passionate product manager. You know how to go to the drill. But at any rate, what I want to point out here is that when you look at the fact that they're not only driving down costs, but increasing processing speeds and delivering end-to-end visibility into payment fees, end-to-end visibility into payment fees is exactly what the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau rule that went into effect this summer was about. It was about Swift GPI and Ripple and XRP being a solution for banks and credit unions to be able to send cross-border payments, and for the first time in history of cross-border payments, to be able to see the end-to-end visibility of what they're accepting before they actually accept it. Think of that. For up until now, cross-border payments have been a chain link of different events, which are not always the same, of how many people are in the middle of that chain for your money to get from A to B. It may travel to several other different correspondent banks in different parts of that process, and you don't know it, and you're not aware of it, and you truly don't know the end cost until you hit the button to accept it, and then that's what you're getting. Up until now, that's been the normal. That's been the standard. Well, that's about to change. And that's about to change because of Ripple and XRP, period. Now, moving into this, why is it about to change? Well, because you have people like this economist here, Stephen Roach, who just said on Wednesday the U.S. dollar could collapse by the end of 2021, and the economy can expect a more than 50% chance of a double-dip recession. Jeez. Who invited the good news bear? Somebody get him some honey. Anyway, it is a crap storm out here, and the reality is, he drills down on this quite nicely, the seemingly crazy idea that the U.S. dollar will collapse against the other major currencies in the post-pandemic global economy is not so crazy anymore. The economist Stephen Roach told CNBC on Trading Nation on Wednesday. Former chairman of Morgan Stanley Asia also said he sees more than 50% probability of a double-dip recession in the United States. He based that prediction on historical evidence, saying that in the 8 of the past 11 business cycles recoveries, economic output has risen briefly and then fallen. Okay, and then we go on to this. Now, we're watching here in the States legislation be introduced that really puts cryptocurrency as a commodity in this regulatory framework that they're talking about. Israel lawmakers propose classifying distributed cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin as currency for tax purposes. This is motion forward. Write it down. Right here. They introduced a draft bill that will effectively end Israel's 25% capital gains tax on Bitcoin by redefining certain cryptocurrencies as currency. Come on in. Ladies and gentlemen, when you have a country that decides to accept a cryptocurrency for tax purposes, I can tell you right now, that is definitely money. That's how you know it's money. Right there. Shout out to Israel for getting it done. Now, it's not passed, but it's introduced, right? So we want to see this happen. I certainly want to see this happen to more than just Bitcoin. I want to see this happen to XRP as well throughout the world. And to me, this is something to really pay attention to see if this catches fire, if it gets passed, and if it gets adopted by other countries around the world. That is exciting. Now, listen, we've covered a lot. We've talked about going from one side of the world to the other and seeing this coordinated effort to get the legislation passed. We see Israel introducing the idea that Bitcoin could be accepted for tax purposes, which would really make it defined as a currency. That is exciting to me. And when I look at the macro, and even when we talk about the economist here who talked about, the idea that it's not so crazy to think about the US dollar collapse. This is not financial advice, but go sign up and get the app from Link2. It's private investing made simple. Yes, you have to be an accredited investor to actually buy the products. And if you don't qualify to be an accredited investor, you're still in. Because the reality is you can download this app, you can register with Link2, and you can participate in the conferences and have access to some of the biggest venture capitalists in this space, and to hear what they're talking about in real time about what's happening and what they think about all of this legislation and introduction and framework and what really needs to happen and is Bitcoin a currency. These people are down to earth and they're very successful and they're very, very vested in this space, and they will tell you exactly what they feel about what's going on. So make sure you absolutely go get that app. It's free to download it. It's free to register. Make sure you do it whether you're an accredited investor or not. And hey, who knows? If we've got this space right, it won't be long. We'll all be accredited investors. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and share with somebody you know. I'll catch all of you on the next one.